Things are starting to heat up in Los Angeles, California, as USC closes in on possibly hiring their new head coach. So much so, as I write this script and record this video, I don't actually know if it will ever see the light of day. USC's job opening is viewed by many as one of the best jobs in all of college football. Adam Rittenberg from ESPN recently wrote in an article, "No program on the West Coast comes close to matching the tradition of USC, which claims 11 national titles and 39 conference titles, and boasts 7 Heisman Trophy winners. USC is located in the middle of the fertile Los Angeles area recruiting scene and can pull top talent from around the region. The school has made overdue upgrades to facilities and, perhaps more importantly, its recruiting and support staff. Mike Bohn has brought a level of competency and professionalism to the athletic director office. The Pac-12 is incredibly vulnerable and seemingly waiting for USC to take control. USC shares the Los Angeles market with UCLA, which has underachieved for generations. Fans wanted Helton out for years and likely will be a bit more patient than normal with the successor to get the roster and culture right. If USC gets this coaching hire right, which is a big if based off of past hirings, they will instantly become a college football playoff contender due to their brand and recruiting prowess. But who should they hire? Some names to eliminate right off the bat: PJ Fleck, James Franklin, and Dave Clawson have all signed extensions at their current schools, meaning they are not going anywhere. If Luke Fickell gets Cincinnati into the playoffs, he will probably be taken out of consideration for one of the top 3 coaching jobs because the schools probably won't want to wait until January to bring him in. That all changes if Fickell and Cincinnati lose to Houston in the American Athletic Championship game, though. Dan Quinn's name has been thrown around this week. Mike Bohn is not expected to bring in an NFL guy at such an important juncture for the program. Bill O'Brien could be a coach to watch, but he doesn't seem to fit in Los Angeles. Now that we have eliminated a few names, let's talk about why some may want to turn down the USC job. Rittenberg writes, Pete Carroll is the only coach in the past 40 years to maximize all that USC has to offer for a sustained period of time. While insular thinking has doomed USC with its recent hires, coaches might be concerned about why USC can't constantly win despite so many inherent advantages. The Pac-12's downturn also could turn off candidates who have the opportunities in stronger Power 5 conferences. The league is as weak as it's ever been, and while getting USC on track is a huge priority, other programs also must be elevated. Fan support can be fickle in the market with many other sporting and entertainment options. Coaches and their family are accustomed to the lifestyle of college towns. Big houses, often low taxes, which could lead to them struggling living in the Los Angeles area and the costs that come with it. Before I get into the top candidates for this job, I want to ask you, who you think will be the next USC head coach. Also, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the video do better in the algorithm. Now, let's talk about possible head coaches. The first name I want to talk about is Utah's Kyle Whittingham. Whittingham is one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the Pac-12. J. Brady McCullough writes, who better to clean up Helton's mess at USC than a coach within the Pac-12 South Division who has prided himself on player development, discipline, tough defense, and a strong running game. He dropped off as a possible candidate for a period of time because Utah dropped games to BYU and San Diego State earlier this year. Now Whittingham has his Utah program sitting at 8-3 and is coming off a blowout win over Oregon. So why would USC not go with Whittingham? Well, let's start off with his age. Whittingham is 62 years old, but is a proven program builder. The next 2 guys I'm going to talk about are both under the age of 50. Also, his offensive schemes may not be the best fit for the type of talent that thrives at USC. If Bohn's not able to land any of the bigger names I'm about to mention, and if Whittingham is willing to leave Utah, he may be the Trojans' best choice. The next person I want to talk about is Baylor head coach Dave Aranda. If you have watched any of my previous coaching carousel videos, you will know I love Dave Aranda and think he will be able to win games wherever he is coaching. Where things get complicated is the fact there are reports that Aranda is planning to sign an extension to stay with the Bears within the next few weeks. That being said, until that contract is signed, you cannot eliminate him as a candidate because if there's one thing I've learned about covering college football, it is to expect chaos. To many in the media, Miranda is the leading candidate for the USC job if he doesn't end up staying at Baylor. Miranda is the hottest name in the coaching cycle that has raised his stock over the past few weeks, beating Texas and Oklahoma in Waco and Kansas State on the road. If the Bears beat Texas Tech and Oklahoma State knocks off Oklahoma, then Baylor will be playing in the Big 12 championship game. While some may argue that it should take more than one good season to be the Trojans' next head coach, Aranda has had a lot of success as a defensive coordinator at both LSU and Wisconsin, winning a national championship with the Tigers in 2019. As I said in my 2 other videos, Aranda won't win you the press conference, but he will win you games. He has Southern California roots and almost became the defensive coordinator for USC back in 2019 before Baylor swooped in and hired him as their next head coach. The main issue may be that if Baylor makes it to the Big 12 championship game, USC will need to wait until after the game before they would announce him as their next head coach, and with the early signing period quickly approaching, that could be an important thing to remember. Last but not least is Iowa State's Matt Campbell. Since the Cyclones' defeat to Oklahoma, Campbell's name has gained a lot of buzz when it comes to the USC job. People are starting to think that Campbell has maxed out what he can do in Ames after a strong 2020 season and a 2021 season that has failed to meet expectations. McCullough writes, Campbell's revival of Iowa State is the closest thing I've seen to the miracle Bill Snyder worked at Kansas State. Snyder was much older than Campbell and decided to stay in Manhattan, and now he has a stadium named after him. Campbell could do the same thing in Ames. Only he knows how much of an itch he has to coach at a school where the expectation is competing for a national championship. I wouldn't read too much into his comments last week that his goal was never to win the Big 12 title. Sounds like some misunderstood coach speak more than others to alarm USC fans. This current frustrating season should not take the shine off Campbell at all. In fact, a mediocre 2021 season could be just what Bohn needs to persuade Campbell it's time to move on. Campbell can flat out coach, and USC should want him based on his track record alone. But can they get him? That mystery keeps him from rising to Aranda level heat for now. Plus, according to Football Scoop, Campbell is gaining steam in the LSU search at the moment too. The other thing to remember is Campbell could be announced as the head coach today if they wanted, and if that's the deciding factor to get Campbell the head coaching job over Aranda and Whittingham, that could be pretty insane in my opinion. The biggest red flag when it comes to Matt Campbell is the fact that he has not coached outside the Midwest though. He has done impressive things at Iowa State, but the question, like with the LSU job, will be whether he is able to translate that success to schools outside the Midwest. You'll have fertile recruiting grounds in Los Angeles, but does he bring the flair that you want with a USC coach? 2 more names I want to mention before I get out of here that I don't view as top candidates, but didn't want to eliminate are Oregon State's Jonathan Smith, which as I record this, Smith signed an extension and is probably eliminated from the USC job, and BYU's Kalani Sitake. Both have been impressive at their current schools, but are not viewed as sexy choices. Sitake may have some momentum if he can lead BYU to a win over USC later today. But what do you think? Who will be USC's next head coach? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.